morning, hello, I'm Professor Code and this is the Forex Supermodel Racing Review and Forex Briefing for Wednesday the 29th of March 2023. Yesterday we had a bet at, Tuesday the 28th, Wolverhampton all weather 6:30 in the evening. We were on two horses there, one was a non-runner, this Pearly Star was pulled, it was a first time outer and they pulled it. Excuse me. The eventual winner was this Wolverhampton at, which was the odds on favourite at 30 to 100. And we were on this Mix Says No, which came ultimately fourth at 9 to 1, which was adrift. That horse, so you can either run away from sort of risks like that, where you can say, oh, that Wolverhampton's way too strong, it's all the rest of it, or you can embrace the risk. And we actually, because we'd got our stake back on Pearly Star, I mean, they ran away from the risk clearly, but they've got different issues. They actually are training and owning the horse. We're gambling. So we added the £2 stake into this Mix Says No. If you watch the race, it gave a good performance. It ran and then faded. We added £100 two places on it, and it obviously lost that, and we added another £100 win at 12.5 to 1 roughly. So we ended up with £400 on, or £4 per £8 unit, half a unit exposure, and it all crashed and burned. But reason we're quite happy with that. We like, if we're going to be beaten, we want to be beaten by the odds on favourite. So that's all good, had potential, and if it comes second, not faded, we'd have had a very minor loss for a potential decent win. Now today we're unusually having a go at two races, and even more unusually we're having a go at laying a horse. Market raise, and start with this one then. 125. We're laying this, what's it called? Eclair de Aine. It's 1 to 12 to win, and we've managed to lay it 1,665 to 200. That's 8.3 to 1. So in other words, £16 in sensible money. We're going to win £16 and we're risking 2. And we've laid it. And why have we laid this seriously odds on horse? Well, because it's a chaser and this is a hurdle. And although the other hurdlers are pretty grim, the other two in the race, this it's not a foregone conclusion. Decent chasers don't always like going back to hurdling, and if it clouts one, it could come unstuck. So that's where we are. So, and that sort of risk return seems good to us. The other one is this Navan 250 on the flat. It's a stakes race, 4-year-old plus 1 mile 6, soft to heavy. What do we know about Navan? It's got a long run in, 3.5 furlong run in, stiff uphill finish, which is ideally suited to this horse here, this number 1 Okita Sushi. A wild guess, I'd say it's got Japanese connections, but that's just me. Anyway, we've got £2 per £8 unit on Betfair at 7.8 to 1. Which is pretty good odds. It's the only horse in the race that's running to its mark, and it's fighting fit off the all-weather at Dundalk. It can win at 2 miles and it can win at 10.5. It's got speed and it's an A mover. And if you watch that, if you want to know what an A mover is, well, it's a horse that is actually, if you were buying a horse, you'd be wanting to buy an A mover if you could. And everyththing's in sync. It's got no paddle, it's got no crossfire, it's got none of all the usual problems that are associated with conformation. So it's an A mover, it's decent odds, it's likely to shorten, and it'll be fighting fit and ideally suited to the task. Right, so that's those. So we'll lay, as I said, we're laying the massively odds on market raising favourite, and we're having a go at Okita Sushi at Navan to win. Right, Forex. Yesterday, quite messy early on, and then early on later in the North American session, what you saw yen strength. Now, yen strength across the board, JPY strength across the board. from the complexes, except against the New Zealand dollar. Now, whenever you see that, not necessarily with the yen and the New Zealand dollar, but against any sort of scenario like that, then so what it basically means is the yen was strong and pasting off all the other FX pairs apart from the New Zealand dollar. The New Zealand dollar was outgunning this incredibly strong yen, and that was the trigger, if you like, to start looking at going long New Zealand dollar across one of the complex pairs. And that's that. If you want to have a look at that scenario, you can see that you could from about 250, I think, roughly at the top of my head, it might have been around that time anyway. 250 in the afternoon. You could start. You could almost start buying any of the New Zealand pairs from that period. And away you go on the upward push. So that was nice. We had a go at that, and it's something to bear in mind if you're a trader. So anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and goodbye.